Guys, I only have 5 days to read 3 books. So I decided to do a reading vlog to see if I can accomplish that. Sorry that I look like this. I'm ready for bed. It is pretty late. I decided to set aside some time, like 15 minutes of a reading. Like I said, I have 3 books to get through in 5 days. I'm currently reading Persuasion. I have The Great Gatsby and Kafka's Letters to Milena. So I'll be reading 15 minutes of Persuasion. I'll let you know how that goes. Guys, hey, it's Tuesday morning, almost 9 o'clock. I am at work. It's gonna be a little bit hard to film today through Thursday because I work 12-hour shifts Tuesday through Thursdays. Hard to film, easy to read. Work is where I get a lot of my reading done, actually. And then on the weekends, I don't read much because I have a lot of projects that I'm working on. But I do want to try to get some shots. Yesterday, I spent 15 minutes reading Persuasion. That went by really fast. It was late, so I thought it would go by really slow, but it was actually pretty fast. And I finally got to the part where Anne is talking about, what's his face? Not Lockwood, not Heathcliff. Crap, I forgot his name. Anyway, it's her lover. So we'll see where the reading world takes me today. Hello, I'm reading Persuasion right now. I'm on chapter 8, part 2. I think it's gonna start getting really good. It's already been really good. At first it was hard to get into, but I've noticed that with any new author that I get into, it's kind of like learning how they speak. But once I got in like the flow of reading, it went by a lot better. I really like how like honest her writing is. I really appreciate the way Anne Elliot is written. What she's going through and her thoughts and her inner turmoil, her emotions and feelings are very universal, I feel. But I like how she's presented with tact and very sure of herself and confident. There's a bunch of characters in this book and each of them represent different personalities. And I like how even the unlikable characters, the way Jane Austen writes, her witty, humorous writing makes the characters and their, bad characteristics kind of funny and very frivolous, where you look at them and you're like, they're silly. It's very good. I'm enjoying it. Another thing that I'm really appreciating is that the movie definitely is like the book, but I was so excited when I started getting to parts in the book that were not in the movie, and it feels like such a whole new world. I would definitely read over a movie just because you can like read someone's soul on a page, but I got excited when it started kind of veering off from what the movie was like. Oh my gosh, let me show you where I left off with this little note there. I really think things are gonna start getting good. I only have this much left. Hopefully I'll finish it tonight. I want to finish this tonight so I can read a new book tomorrow, hopefully finish that one tomorrow, so then I only have one book on my TBR that I need to get finished, and I can read that on Friday, and that's my day off. So hopefully that works out and I can actually finish my TBR. Anyway, I'll keep you guys updated. Guys, I finished Persuasion. Okay, let me start off by saying, never have so few words with such inanimate objects rocked my soul the way it did in this book. There were so many like instances in the book where I was like underlining just 3 words. Anyway, that's the first thing that I want to tell you about Persuasion. So obviously the title is Persuasion, and to me at first I was thinking that it was just about Lady Russell persuading Anne Elliot not to marry Captain Wentworth, right? But the more I read it, the more I realized the word persuade was used, and I was like, there has to be intention behind that. And after I finished the book, I read the introduction, and basically it was saying that to persuade someone, the act of persuading someone and the act of being persuaded are completely different, and I agree. When I thought on it, I was like, that makes it so much more intricate of a work, because each of these characters use the word persuade. And with that use of the word and their feeling behind it, the context behind it, reveals the type of person that that character is. And I found that very intriguing. And yeah, that was something that I learned that I thought was cool to share. So that was kind of like the undertone of the whole story, because it's persuasion, but it also touches a lot on like social roles and hypocrisy, and a lot of personalities and character was presented in the book, and each of them so different. And it was nice to delve into each of those characters in kind of not a super serious way. It was more in like a passing way, made it very satirical and ironic. So that's where her, witty and funny writing comes in, is her ability to, take something kind of serious and form it into something funny, although it does have some serious undertones, at least to me. That's what I got from her writing on different characters. I think it was a great balance between witty and funny and serious and thoughtful and thought-provoking. I really loved the way that Anne Elliot was portrayed in the book, how her character was written. I loved that she had quality characteristics and was also highly respected among various other characters in the book. She has control over her thoughts, minds, and actions. She's very tactful with how she presents herself with her own personal quiet life. And she also has a very good understanding and sympathy for the human condition and other people's emotions and thoughts, regardless of her home life. Has, a family that kind of belittles her, doesn't really care about her. She's kind of useless and inconvenient to her family. And I also loved that it touched on the fact that those kind of people with high quality character and such an understanding for people and sympathy for others is also a person that can be easily persuaded, easily taken advantage of, and also easily depended on by others. Because Anne was very much so used even when she was overlooked. She was always found of use. She was always taking care of someone. She was always comforting someone. She was always being the person with the right thing to say at the right time, always making the decisions for everyone for the most part. But that didn't demean or diminish her high quality character. She puts up with these people but still has a clear understanding and has her gut feelings and suspicions. All of that while having this love for someone after so long of a time. I feel like in society, I guess, or people's general broad assumptions of people can't let go who are still in love with someone from years ago, who think they're destined for one person only. They think those people are a little like crazy and over the top and just wishful thinkers. And Anne was not any of those things. She was still such a respectable and high quality person regardless of that. And I think that was refreshing to read, because you can still be a tactful person with heavy emotions. So I appreciated that. I thought that was very well done. It makes people feel more seen and heard, which is of course the point of reading, to be seen and heard in writing, and you don't even have to say a word. It ended so satisfyingly with Anne Elliot's conviction that she will not be persuaded anymore, and she will never be the persuader. She will never be the person that can be taken advantage of, and it's going to make her decisions for her own life by herself. I did really enjoy the book. When I gave the last summary of my thoughts, that was when it started getting really quick, because that's when like the love came in, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think if I were to rate this book, it might be like a 3.5. That's a good rating. Now we're gonna read The Great Gatsby. Okay guys, I started The Great Gatsby, and I wanted to give you my initial thoughts. Initial because I'm only on page 8. This author's descriptions are incredible. Literally the way he was describing the breeze through the curtains, like 3 sentences, and I want to see the breeze through those exact curtains. He's describing our main character's cousin's speech, and let me just read this to you. Okay. I looked back at my cousin, who began to ask me questions in her low, thrilling voice. It was the kind of voice that the ear follows up and down, as if each speech is an arrangement of notes that will never be played again. Her face was sad and lovely, with bright things in it, bright eyes and a bright, passionate mouth. But there was an excitement in her voice that men who had cared for her found difficult to forget. A singing compulsion, a whispered listen, a promise that she had done gay, exciting things just a while since, and that there were gay, exciting things hovering in the next hour. I want to hear how she talks. What? Hi guys, so I'm in my car, just finished up in the gym. I spent maybe an hour and 40 minutes there, and I was walking the whole time. Also, sorry about the lighting. It is dark outside. But while I was walking, I was also reading. Honestly, it was kind of hard. I'm not really good at multitasking, and I'm also not really good at like walking straight in general. But I'm hoping if I practice it enough, it'll open up like some like stimuli in my brain where I can finally multitask. Wouldn't that be amazing? Anyway, guys, I finished The Great Gatsby. It's the last day of February, and wow, that was an incredible book. Let me just talk about the author. First of all, I think he was hilarious. I was like laughing out loud reading parts of his book. It was so entertaining. There was always something happening, and I bet someone could just read the whole book in one sitting, to be honest. Talk about a tragic story. Holy moly. I was under the impression that it would be a tragic love story. There is like love in it, but it's just a tragic story in general. Like the last 3 chapters, oh my gosh. And like you think the tragedy is just gonna end, and then it just keeps going and going and going, and any possible hopeful outcome is not even given to the reader. Like nothing is happy in the end of the book. I was genuinely so shocked. Like the first couple things happened, I was like, oh my gosh. And then things kept happening, and I was like, I had to like pause and close the book and comprehend that there was still awful things happening. Anyway, so I think overall the book was just tragic. Not even like a tragic love story, really. I mean, it was hinted in that direction, but it was just tragic in general. I feel a little shaken about it, and right after I read the note to the reader, and I was like, how can I even move past the story so quick? How can readers even read the note after they just read this book? Anyway, yeah. Great Gatsby is maybe one of my top books that I've read. If you were wondering, it's a great classic. It's really like easy to read as well. The Sorrows of Young Werther was really easy to read, and The Great Gatsby was very easy to read. So if you want to get into classics that are about tragic love or just tragedy, in The Great Gatsby's case, those are really good ones. People that are new to literature, to classic literature, which I'm a newbie to classic literature. Oh, speaking of, sorry, I was thinking about The Great Gatsby. Speaking of, it is the last day of February, and I still have the Letters to Milena by Kafka unfinished. Haven't even started it, but I do think I might stay up a little later and try to read it. Do I think I'll read the whole book? No, but maybe it'll be a book that just flies by and I can read it. I mean, ideally I finish it, but realistically, I might not finish it. I do have a slight headache because my eyeballs hurt really bad from like the movement of walking and trying to like trace words. I'm gonna drive home. It's about a 20-minute drive. I'll probably get ready for bed and read. Hopefully I don't crash. Haha. Guys, thank you for listening to me ramble on and on and on. Guys, I'm afraid if I don't talk now, I won't be able to talk later. I have my milk of magnesia mask on, and it like hardens, kind of like a clay mask, and you can't like move your face. I'm starting Letters of Milena, and it's 12:30, so maybe I'll update you if I think I can talk. You feel me? Wish me luck. I could only read up to page 9. I'm super sleepy, and it's already March 1st. Sadly, I didn't finish all the books I wanted to read. I mean, I'll still finish it just in March. Yeah, I need to go to sleep. I'm tired.